G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Thursday, the 12th of March 2020, and the time here is 0850 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well folks, yeah, I was right. Everything's going to shit, as you would expect, and we're going to talk about that. But first, my sponsor, Totally Awesome, who make they don't just make golden activated turmeric paste, they make several items that you can buy for yourself and also for your pets. Look, this stuff is just fantastic, folks. Look, honestly, the guys sent me another pack yesterday. Thank God. That'll see me through. I take this stuff with everything. I even give it to my dogs. If you're not using it, you should be. And as I said, the proof is in the pudding. Sorry, let's their contact details, info@totallyrawesome.com.au, and you can find them at Bundles Farmers Market, or you can go and see the guys and have a chat with them every Sunday, 6 till 12. Now, I was going to say, the proof is in the pudding with that stuff because I use it. My whole family now uses it, and I mean, even the kids, everybody. My kids demand that it goes into all the food we use. How about that? You know, like spaghettis and stuff like that, any mixed food, because they've realised the benefits of it. And I never even said anything to them. So there you go. My wife uses it for arthritis. Fantastic. Now, I can tell you that it works because I get all the comments from everybody who uses it saying 100%. A couple of people told me they've even got off their meds from using it. And I'm not lying. You can go back and look at the comments. Ask them. If you see the comment there, ask them. It does work, folks. Okay. 1 second. I'm just going to pause this. Hang on. Okay. This guy here is a goddamn genius. And I mean that. He gives updates every day on the coronavirus, which I watch not every day, every couple of days, because it's the same stuff every day, really. Now, this video here is different, and I'm going to put the link in the description box for you so you can watch it if you haven't watched it already. It's staggering how bad it's gotten in the last couple of days. Now, to be honest, this guy's been warning everybody anyway, saying, hey, look, this is really, really bad. You need to pay attention because it is that bad. And as I said, if anybody was going to fuck this up, it was the eye ties. Couldn't run a piss up in a brewery or a shag in a brothel. You know, they just, the incompetence. Honestly, I don't know how they make cars so good because they're just incompetent buffoons, politically and everything else. They couldn't scratch their back, you know, if someone was standing behind them. It's just useless. And the other staggering thing that people keep saying is that they've got a really good healthcare system. I've been to Italy and I've had to go to the hospitals, and I would not say that their system is great, honestly. Yeah, anyway, look, I won't go there, but now you may be wondering why they've put everybody in lockdown. Well, watch that video and you soon understand why. It's not because they're worried about people infecting each other, which they are, obviously, but the problem, the thing they're severely worried about, now this guy tells you in this video, 12%, the current figure is 12% people are going to die. 12%. So they're not worried about people infections because they know that's going to happen. What they're worried about is the massive influx of people going to the hospitals. Sorry, I had to stop there for a second. Probably heard my dog barking, bloody pest. Yeah, look, They're not. They're worried about the massive influx of people coming into the hospitals and shutting the health system down. That's why now in Australia they're doing these pop-up tent things, so you don't go into the hospital, because the system is in Sydney. The system has collapsed, and we haven't even started yet. Do you understand that? Like Sydney and Melbourne, the health system has collapsed. They've got 43 beds at one hospital, ICU beds in this thing. Now, how are you going to deal with 100 people if they come into your hospital? You've got 43 beds. I don't know whether you guys, I mentioned this movie before, and you might want to watch it because it's actually a carbon copy. My wife and I watched this. We never watched it before. It was on a couple of weeks ago. Contagion, the movie Contagion. If you haven't watched it, watch it, because it's literally, whoever wrote it knew this was going to happen, and it's playing out exactly how this has started, even to the point where what's the name? Gwyneth Paltrow was in it with Matt Damon, and lots of other actors. But she goes to China, eats this thing, or meets this guy who's fixing his pig up from a wet market or whatever. She gets this virus. She comes back to the US, bang, gone. It's actually scarily uncanny how this movie is to what's going on today and how this is going to play out, especially in America. Right, now, America is the place that worries me the most out of all the people, out of all the countries. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because of it's probably a 3-tier health system. You've got the people who've got healthcare, you've got the people who kind of have healthcare, and then you've got the people who don't have any healthcare. It's a really shit system. So what the American government and everyone is struggling with at the moment is the fact that, okay, so I'll give you an example. Here in Australia, money, cash for fixing up things, right? Okay, you're sick, you've got to go to a hospital, no worries, we'll pay for everything, don't worry about it. That mentality in America does not exist. When you mention health care, hospitalization, etc. in America, automatically the people that are the elites, if you want, Trump, etc., they literally cannot fathom having people come to the hospital and the government has to pay for it. Like America has 300 million people now. If you want to take, say, 50 million off, or 20 million off that because of the illegals, you've got 280 million. But look, I'm being facetious. But the point is that America, right, has no system in place for all the millions of people who are going to get COVID virus. At the bottom end of the scale, in the middle end of the scale, top end of the scale, you'll be okay. You've got healthcare cover. But that ain't going to mean shit if you can't get to your hospital, because what are people going to do? They don't care if the hospital down the road is a private health thing. They're just going to swamp it, right? Do you think a black guy in Queens, is it Queens, something like that, who has no healthcare cover? I'm not, it could be a white guy. I'm just using a black guy as an example. Or a black family in Queens who has no health cover is going to give an absolute rat's ass if one of their kids is dying or they're dying from COVID-19, and the nearest hospital is 2 houses away, literally 1 block away, so, and it's a private hospital? No, they're not. They're just going to go there because they know they're not going to get any benefit out of going to the general hospital, because the general hospital is swamped. So you're wondering why in America at the moment everyone's going, oh, wow, this is so hard to process. There is no mental process in America for free health cover for anybody, for anything. The government just cannot process it. Now, if they come out and they said, okay, and this is where they have to do, they literally have to do this. If they come out and they go, okay, we're going to put $100 billion into general health cover, general things for the people who have no health cover, mate, there'll be civil unrest in America overnight because the people who have health cover think they're being ripped off. And they'll be like, well, I want my healthcare cover back. That's how fucked up it is in America. Now, you know, we're a little bit luckier here in Australia. and can I just say, if you do have we're a little bit screwed up here as well with our healthcare cover, which is coming to an end, by the way. We've got all these, you know, the insurance coverage here is just a joke. And we've actually slipped below, we're 50-50, and we're going below that 50% level. I think it was 45% that people now have private health insurance. So we're now going into that 2-tier system and 3-tier system like the States, because no one can afford the health care because they're just a rip-off. They don't give you anything, and I can prove that. I've been to had my colonoscopies. I've had to pay every single time I've had to go. It's $500 because the guy who gives me the anesthesia, not the doctor, the anesthesia, he's not covered. So I've got to pay him $500 to knock me out, and I don't get any of that back. Why ban it? It's a useless bloody. If I get it broken, you know, when I broke my hand, I went down to Tweed Hospital and got it fixed for nothing. Oh, and here's the con. The Tweed Hospital asked me if I was in Bupa, and I said yes. So they claimed my Bupa rebate back from the government to the government hospital. You know, like, this is, honestly, you can't make this shit up. Anyway, I'm getting off track a bit, but here, look, this is the problem. Sydney's going to go into lockdown, and Melbourne and Canberra. Now, where do all the pollies live? In Canberra. So they are going to literally make it an iron, what's the word? Not ironclad, you know, like a shield of iron around Canberra. You would not be able to get in and out of Canberra to save your life. And while this is all going on, you can bet your bottom dollar that in Canberra, they are running contingency plans to lock down Canberra, to stop people coming into Canberra and having extra hospitals. Canberra will be an absolute, just so you guys know, in America or wherever you're from, or England, wherever you're watching, we have this, we have Sydney and Melbourne on the East Coast. Sorry like that. They're 8 to 10 hours between each other, right? Driving. Now, how Canberra started was because Sydney and Melbourne could not come to an agreement as to where we were going to put Parliament when you know, we had federation. So they came up with this great idea. Well, let's stop arguing about this. Let's just put it in the middle. And they did. They built Canberra, which was, so you guys know, the first purpose-built city in the world from plan. So they planned it out and they built it. And it was the second one is Milton Keynes in England. There's only been 2 in the whole of the world that were built like that. Canberra and Milton Keynes. Both extremely septic, antiseptic, is that the word? Just horrible. Canberra's not so bad because they left all the trees. They didn't knock down any trees. So it's quite pretty, quite beautiful. But still a horrid place to live. It's just, unless you lived there and knew what it was like. Milton Keynes is the same. It's bloody horrible. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, in Canberra, they will have contingency plans in Canberra for pop-up hospitals, you know, you name it, it'll be there. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, they will be left on their own. There you go. There's your money. Don't come back to us. And that's what they're doing, by the way. So if you're in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth and Brisbane, you kind of need to be a little bit concerned. If you're in Canberra, mate, you guys are laughing because the pollies are going to make sure that they put a ring of steel, that's what I was trying to say, a ring of steel around Canberra. No one can come in, no one can come out, because they can block every single road into Canberra. It's probably one of the few places in Australia where they can do that. And if you think I'm joking, I'm not. So my tip, and it's not just my tip because I got a confidential phone call about this yesterday, Sydney is going to go into lockdown in 3 days' time, or 2 days' time as of yesterday. So you're looking at Saturday. Their cases are exploding. They can't control it. And the only way to control it is to lock everything down. And Canberra and Melbourne are going to follow suit pretty soon after. What that means for air travel, etc., I have no idea. But it's going to be bad, folks. Now, let's talk prepping, because this is important. I've got my fancy duds on today because I'm going shopping. Straight after I finish this video, we are going to go and top up on everything that we think we need. We're not going to go overspend. And this is important, right? Now listen to me. Please listen to me on this. Don't just go shopping and just shove shit in your trolley. Someone said to me the other day, you know, I showed you the picture of the rice that I had for I packed it in 2016. And some clown, I just can't believe some people say shit like this, honestly, said, and please listen to me on this. Some clown, sorry, I'm not saying clown, look, he was quite right to say it. He had every right to say it. But it just kind of annoyed me because you missed the point wholly. I had a bag of white rice that I stuck in my thing in 2016. We are now eating that rice in 2020. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing. Because it's pressure packed. Now, and this is my specific point to you. Why would you go shopping and buy something you never eat? Think about what I just said. Why would you go shopping and buy shit you never eat? Now, okay, your kids are hungry, etc. Why would you feed them brown rice, which they absolutely detest? This is my point. If you have to, and you have any common sense, you will buy food, if you have to, sorry, you will buy food that you don't kind of like. But we're not there yet. So buy stuff that you know that's gonna see you through, you're gonna eat properly, you're not gonna waste. Remember, waste is a big thing when you're trying to prepare food. So why would you buy right at the moment when your kids aren't gonna eat it? They will if they have to. If they're bloody hungry in a month's time, yeah, they'll eat shit on a sandwich. But at the moment, they don't need to eat brown rice. So why try forcing it down their throat? Because they're not going to eat it. They're going to pick at it and then they're just going to throw it away to the chickens. You see my point? So if you go shopping today, and I'm highly recommending that you do, don't buy food that you don't eat. It's not relevant at the moment. In the future, 2 months from now or a month from now or whatever, when you're going shopping and there's only brown rice on the shelf or there's only beans in curry, yeah, by all means, just buy that. But there's no point buying food that you're not going to eat at the moment. Oh, and by the way, you can't eat toilet paper. Now, I've had the conversation with my family, and you need to have this conversation with your family as regards to toilet paper, because it's not an insurmountable supply, even though they say it doesn't matter a flying frig if they make it in Australia. The problem is that there's no guy to drive the truck to the shop. It's going to sit in the factory. Now remember, we've had 95% drop in exports from China, imports from China, and we've also had a 95% drop in exports to China. And if things go into lockdown, which they are going to go into lockdown, folks, you can bet my ass on it. I've been right on everything else, Italy, the stock market, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Then you're not going to get these things. But you need to have that conversation with your family about hygiene, right? Use toilet paper sparingly and then go and wash your backside in the shower if you have to. Does that make sense? Because I had to have that conversation with my family. Why waste toilet paper when you go and wash your ass? It's that simple. I know you girls don't like doing that too much, but you're going to have to. It's as simple as that. Now, let's talk about the stock market. Was I right or was I right? Blip up, blip down, blip up, blip down. It goes further down each time, folks, and very soon, and I'm predicting it's not going to happen tomorrow, I don't think. Trump still hasn't come out and announced his stimulus package, which everyone, this is how pathetic things are. They're waiting on the President of the United States to say, we're going to spend $100 billion. No, sorry, they're going to print $100 billion because they haven't got any money. They're going to print $100 billion to pump into the system. That $100 million is like dropping a tea dropper into the ocean, folks. Now, I don't have any stocks. I never have had stocks, but I've always kept an eye on it. And I've watched the monumental movements and how disgustingly greedy people are, etc., etc. So, as I said, if you watch my video that I did 2 days ago, up, down, up, it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. We're at that point where it's going to go. Now, here's something interesting. The news people have finally come out and said Australian stock market has gone past 20%. Now, I told you that 2 days ago. They haven't. It's only today that they're coming out and saying the Australian stock market has gone past 20%. It went past 20% a couple of days ago. So you see what sort of bullshit we're putting up with. Each day they come out and they go, oh, it dropped 7%. Well, it hadn't. It dropped 16.5%. Because the 7% made it 16.5%, and then the other 7% made it 21%, 22%. We're up to about 25 now. But you see see the mind games? We've gone past 20%. We're up to 25%, and today's going to be a bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath in Sydney, in the stock exchange. It's going to crash like there's no tomorrow. And then tomorrow, you see how they do this? It's Friday. So tonight, Trump's going to come out and go, or he'll do it on the Friday. They'll wait till the Friday so that the New York Stock Exchange goes on the Friday, open the markets on Monday when everyone realizes, that ain't enough. And it's going to go. So I'm predicting that next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, you're going to have a huge drop in the stock market. Once people digest how bad this is and how things are going to stop, because don't forget, in America, they're still going to Walmart, they're still going to Costco's, and they're going, But by next week, because we're 6 weeks into this now, you're going to start going to the Walmart, Costco's and go, hey, where's the rice? Hey, where's this? Where's that? And then they're going to start realizing that, hey, this is really serious. We've relied on China too much and we've got no food. What are you going to do then? We're in a little bit better situation here in Australia because of the fact that we grow our own food, majority of it, and we can still get bananas, we can still get fruit and veggies, rice, etc. So we'll be kind of all right. But the problem is getting that truckie into the truck to drive it to the shops. Because if you're in lockdown, that ain't going to happen. If the government was smart, really smart, they would be saying all truck drivers are, unless they've got signs of coronavirus, are eligible to drive the trucks. Makes sense, doesn't it? They're not going to affect anybody. They're sitting in a bloody truck. They pull up, someone opens the truck up, They empty the truck out, truck drives off. It's not that difficult. And then the shops are still stocked, but they're not going to do that because they want people to panic. Okay. We are going to say some prayers today, folks, because listen, this is regardless of where you're from. Like in Italy at the moment, they've got 1,000 deaths. So 1,000 people have died basically because the Italians are frigging useless. America, they're going to have, thousands die because of the fact that they can't get their head around the fact that people need to go to the hospital for free. And that's what they're struggling with at the moment. Here in Australia, look, here in Australia, here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, everything's fine. Yeah, you're okay, blah, blah, blah. And then next week, they're going to start announcing the closure. They're going to have the Grand Prix, right? They'll have the Grand Prix, and then they're going to shut everything down. That's my prediction. All sport is going to be shut down because you're going to get people from this Grand Prix are going to go there, and you're going to get hundreds of cases, literally, from the Grand Prix. They're going to go, okay, he went to the Grand Prix, he went to the Grand Prix, he went to the Grand Prix. It's going to rocket, take off like a rocket. And then they're going to start shutting things down. Then they're going to turn places like the MCG or Amy Park in Melbourne, Carrara, Robina, Metricon Stadium. They're going to start turning those into makeshift hospitals, marquees. Mark my words. Suncorp, because they haven't got enough hospital beds, folks. It's as simple as that. And this is how bad this is going to get. So let's say some prayers. Never ceases to amaze me how this verse of the day seems to be exactly what I want. Like I said here before, I click on it just before I say it. Okay, verse of the day, after everything that I just said. Know, therefore, that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. So let's say that again. Verse of the day. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping his covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. Wow. That was Deuteronomy 7:9. And as always, folks, we'll finish with the Lord's Prayer. Why? Because we can. Just listen to the words. Even if you're not religious like me, it does make a difference in your life if you just listen to the words, and you'll get something out of it. So let's say it together. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. The reason I say it, the Lord's Prayer, is because I got to believe in something, as a Buddhist type Shinto person, because of my cross, my Bushido cross, etc. I believe more in Shinto than I believe in a lot of other things, that there's a divine entity helping me and everything. I do truly believe that. Religion's shit, honestly. You know what amazes me about religion? I shouldn't go on about this, but I am going to. If a bloke goes fishing, I always use this analogy. If a bloke goes fishing and he tells his mate he caught a fish, it was as big as my glasses. By the time it gets to the third bloke, oh, Al caught a fish. It was that big. Honestly, how the hell can you believe, like all these religions, Christianity, Muslim, Islamic, they're all word of mouth from 2,000 years ago plus. You can't, it's just mind-boggling that people read this shit and go, oh yeah, that's true. What is wrong with you? What, you can't question anything? You don't have the ability to question stuff at all? Yeah, anyway, look, you guys take care, please, and just stay vigilant and watch this video and then go down the road to your shops and buy whatever you need to, because it's all over. It's as simple as that. So, thinking of you. God bless. Prep out.